is Education Sector Television International, ESTV. Good morning to you all, and welcome to another episode of One Citizen of Greater Values. Today, I am right inside Sigmark Technologies Nigeria, a company that develops and deploys technology solutions to all aspects of Nigeria. And today, I have right beside me the Managing Director of Sigmark, Mr. Mike Olajide. Good morning, sir.
Good morning. You are welcome. Thank you for this opportunity to be with you this morning.
I feel honored, sir.
Welcome to Sigmark, where we develop information technology solutions.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Impact the lives of people, make work smarter, make life better. And we started operating in 1994.
Yes, sir. Before you go ahead, sir, let me start with this question. An aspect of your corporate progress is you've affected well over 120 million lives with your products and services. 120 million is a large figure.
Yeah.
What are these products and services?
Now, when we started operating, we started by selling computers and maintaining computers, out there. But in 1998, we changed our strategy. So we began to develop solutions in IT that will impact the lives of people. And we started with the Nigerian Army. In the Nigerian Army, they had a problem with their payroll system. They wanted to migrate from their mini computers to a computer system that will enable them capture all their officers and soldiers in various locations. And so we developed a solution for them, a payroll system that enables them to aggregate the officers, the soldiers, wherever they are located, in one single database. And so that helped them to process the data of over 300,000 soldiers
In Nigeria.
And so from there we went into WIC, where we processed over 800,000 records in a single year in 1999. And what did we do for WIC at that time? WIC was faced with the problem of impersonation in their exams. And so they discovered that many people write the exam for other candidates. They had a photo card that carries the photograph of the candidates. When you want to enter the exam hall, they check the photo card against the person. But actually, the person who wants to write the exam puts his photo on the photo card.
Which is not
the real candidate. So they were contemplating and putting the passport on the photo card, laminating it along with the certificate. And so we said, no, people can still remove the lamination, put a new photograph.
Create another device of cheating.
Yes. So what we now told them, okay, we can scan in all the passport photograph on the photo card and electronically emboss it on the certificate.
Okay.
And so that was what we did. We scanned in the photographs on the photo card and emboss it on the certificates. And we did that for 1999, 2000, 2001, and 2002. And when they saw it, they were amazed. Many candidates those years did not collect their certificates because they were not the ones whose photograph is on the certificate. They didn't write the exam. So you have to prove that, it was why who made a mistake. But when you want to prove, they will bring out your photo card that contains the photo on the time of your writing the exam. So that really gave WIC an opportunity to say this company can really do well for us. And so in 2023 and 2003, when we proposed to them that we should begin the e-registration, it became very easy for us. And so we made a proposal, we sat and discussed it. people are agitating about what happens to rural areas where there are no computers and no internet. We said, look, why can engage the cyber cafes at that time to register for the school, their students. They can also do offline registration, and they can then go to where there's internet and upload the data they have captured.
So the services starts with the school.
Yes.
On their students.
On their students. And so we began to register over 1 million, in a single year, over 1 million candidates. And so we continued that way until it got to about 2 million. Now, the number of candidates that write the exam for WAEC now is about 2 million. And so when you begin to aggregate all of this from 2004 to date, is about 80 million records.
Is this limited to WAEC, the mid-June examination?
It's not limited to WAEC mid-June examinations. It's also for their private candidate exam, what we call GCE in those days.
Yes.
So it's now called private candidate exams. And they do 2 series.
Okay, of the GCE?
Yes. There's one for around November, December, and there's another one January, February now.
So you also captured the 2 series?
Yes, all these are captured. This data is all available on the WAEC database that we created. So we also decided that, look, you have records before 1999, when we began to assist you with computers and the solutions that we bring. Now, from 2002 or 2000, from 1998 downward up to maybe 1962 or 1956 when you started, what happens?
With the archives?
With the archives. So we started capturing those in the archives. We started by saying, okay, you are using computer before. Where are the tapes? Where are the data? They store the data on tape reels. We have to find technology to convert those data. We converted the data and got the format for WAEC. We start with them. We were able to get the format and then reformatted the data in a way that is possible for us to now put it in their new database, which we are also the ones processing for them.
So the old ones too, they are now on their database?
From 1980.
Now on your database?
On their database.
Through your efforts?
Yes, through our efforts. 1979 and up to 1952, when WAEC started, are still being tried to, because those ones were not available in electronic format. We now have to find a way to convert it from paper format to electronic format. Don't forget, these are very old paper,
sure.
Which means if you don't handle them carefully, they can, they just,
get
as you carry it,
they can get
a break.
Yeah.
So we are still looking at how do we capture this to ensure that WAEC is able to get all the data or the past data into their electronic database. And we move on to JAM at the same time. We introduce some solutions.
Okay, you also work for JAM?
Yeah, we also work for JAM.
Okay.
And incidentally, I work for JAM as a private person.
Okay.
I joined the Joint Admissions Matriculation Board in 1982 as a programmer, analyst.
Okay.
And so I worked for JAM for about 8 years. I grew to become an assistant chief analyst.
Okay.
And I left in 1990, left JAM.
So you were part of the system.
So I was part of the
system. And you
system.
knew all that entails.
So I knew all that entails. And so when we started CBAC in 1994, and we approached JAM for to begin to provide services to them. The then registrar, who was also my boss, Dr. Abdurrahman, MS Abdurrahman, was very willing to give us jobs because he said if Mike is there, it means the company will
Then
do
we will see
well.
results.
Yeah, we will get results. So that was how he started patronizing us.
So what exactly do you do for JAMB?
For a start, we were also providing computer services, that's maintenance, support, supply, until uh, after we introduced the certificates, the photo embossment to JAM, to WAEC, and then we introduced the same thing to JAM to say it would be nice to have the photograph of all your candidates embossed on the examination slip that the candidate will take to the exam.
Okay.
So that was how we started putting this photograph on the slip. And when you want to enter the exam hall, you must carry that slip that contains your photograph. We also introduced it to the result slip. So when you print your result, your photo is on the result. We also introduced it to the admission letters. So that when you print your admission letter, your photograph is on the admission
Super.
letter.
And this is ongoing.
Yes, it's ongoing up to now.
Good.
No, those in WAEC too, all of these are done for WAEC to ensure that the personation in the exam is minimized. I say minimized because
You cannot experience total reduction.
and actually we moved further
Okay.
to say at the point of registration, let's begin to capture the fingerprints of the candidates
In JAMB?
in both WAEC and JAM.
Okay.
Whatever we introduce to one, we introduce to the other. Same thing with e-registration. We started the e-registration with WAEC in 2004. We also, and in 2005, we started the e-registration with JAM.
No wonder you talked about over 120 million.
That is how the 120 million
came about the
came
figure.
about, yeah.
Beautiful. So, okay, let me ask you, is there any technology now within your system that can reduce examination malpractices, if not totally eradicate it? Do you have such technology?
We can only minimize exam malpractice. And for me, the process of eliminating exam malpractice must start from a policy of government that we review assessment, the methodology for assessment.
How do you mean?
Now, I tell you, JAM is able to reduce exam malpractice by the way they present the exam questions to candidates. For example,
So there's a new development.
Yeah, there's a new development. Two candidates will be sitting together. They are not answering the same question as number one. No, your number one is different from my number one. If I say number one, A, and you put A as your own response,
it may not tally.
It may not tally. Because the way the questions are presented, using technology, is now no longer the way it is on paper. When you do paper exam, number one has to be number one across. But now, as JAM introduced the CBT, the computer-based exam, it is now possible to ensure that 5 people in this row, even though they are answering number one, their number ones are totally different from one another.
Different questions.
Yes. And how is this done? If there are 50 questions, they use a computer system to calibrate the questions and determine the difficulty levels of those questions. When they determine the difficulty levels of the question, that helps them to present it to candidates in the sense that all number one will be the same level of difficulty. So there is no reason for a candidate to say, my number one is so difficult. That's why I failed the exam.
Okay. JAMB makes use of CBT.
Yes, JAMB makes
So
use of
this
CBT.
is easier. It could be easily done.
Yeah.
Now let's look at WAEC. Is there any way we can reduce examination malpractice right inside the hall while WAEC is going on? Or GCE?
Or GCE, yes. WAEC has also started to do some level of CBT.
In what manner?
For private candidates exam, they now do some level of CBT. The multiple choice questions are now CBT for private candidates exam, because the candidation, the number is not much, maybe a few 100,000. So the number is not much. And but for the school exam, where they have over almost 2 million candidates, it's still, they're still looking for where is the infrastructure for us to do CBT.
Most especially in the remote areas. You want to talk about
Yeah.
Ile-Ife. You want to talk about Shagamu.
Incidentally, JAMB is conducting exams in those areas.
Yes.
Because private people are now involved in setting up computer
CBT areas.
CBT hubs or infrastructure.
Okay. But for WAEC,
which has to be school exam, which means every school that the exam will take place must have infrastructure. So they really need government involvement to make it happen, for them to partake in. But what we can still do further is, after the exam, we can actually, determine the level of malpractice.
Oh.
Through the e-marking.
Okay, so we have e-markings now.
Yes.
At the WAEC level?
At the WAEC level, for some subjects, they have e-marking.
Okay.
For some few subjects.
Maybe the objective?
No, theory. No, all objectives are e-marking, because the responses are just computer scores them.
Okay.
But for theory, the WAEC still use markers, which they call examiners, to mark. So WAEC still use examiners. But in the very near future, we are looking at a situation where examiners will not be used. Because even the e-marking WAEC is doing now, they still use examiners to mark it on the screen.
Okay.
But addition of the scores is done by a computer, rather than them using calculator to calculate this is the total score for this candidate.
15 minutes, this is summary.
Yes. So for us, I think we still have a long way to go in ensuring that WAEC is able to do CBT. But after the exam is taken, we are doing research as to how we can minimize or eliminate the use of examiners, so that computers will mark the scripts. Whether it's on computer or they scan it in, the answer script, and then the computer will mark.
Okay.
That we're doing right now. We are doing a research with the Obafemi Awolowo University on this issue as I speak.
Okay.
And we have gotten to a level where we can go back to why that this is possible now.
Is this still in the process at Obafemi Awolowo University, or it is being done now?
It's not being done by WAEC now.
No, I mean the one at the Obafemi Awolowo University.
Yes,
is it on now, or you are still on the process?
We are already looking at it. The demo is already.
It is applicable now.
Yes.
To the examination.
I can tell you that.
And you people are getting it right.
Yes.
So it can easily be applied to
what we did was to ask WAEC to give us the marking skills, and then we subject the exam to candidates at that level to write, and then we scanned it, and then we use the system to mark these answers. and it's amazing.
Sir, I'm beginning to believe that our level of embracing technology in Nigeria is rather too slow, most especially in the education sector, where we need technology to make things work better. What is your opinion on this?
Our level, yes, but we are making progress.
It's slow progress.
Yes, it's slow, but we are making a lot of progress.
Okay.
I know that the federal government last year, 2 years ago, decided to work with the World Bank on what they call the Agile projects, adolescent initiative for girls. For girls to be able to become computer literate, IT literacy in schools. But I know that all the states that are involved in these projects are not limiting it to girls.
Okay.
It's for both boys and girls in their schools.
Okay. To train them.
Yes. For example, in Ekiti State, about 100 schools have been selected for that project,
Okay.
and they are on, and we are involved.
Okay.
So we know that they are doing well. Other states like Kaduna, Katsina, Kano, and the rest of them are also doing well.
Okay. Are they supporting with the necessary facilities
Yes.
to enhance their training?
Yes. There are computers for each school, a computer lab for each school. All the infrastructure were provided by through the World Bank assisted projects.
Okay.
So we are making progress, but we are not there.
Okay.
We are not there.
Okay, it's a gradual process.
It's a gradual process.
I said that time that it's too slow, but let me say it's a gradual process.
It's a gradual process, and thank God we have started.
Okay.
I think it's a good beginning.
Okay.
And I believe that if we continue and we are consistent, we will get there sooner than later.
I pray so. Sir, another question, sir. What is the position of intern, the people we call attachment students, that comes into various organizations to have the practical aspect of their career? What is the position of intern here at SIGMAC? At
SIGMAC, we take the issue of interns, or what we call IT students, very seriously. Not just IT students, even youth corpers.
Okay.
Their training is very key to us. We deliberately design training programs for them that will make them useful after they leave SIGMAC. For example, the interns, the IT students, we train them, and many of them come back to work for us. So, and we are happy to recruit them. And for NYSC, because of the kind of training they go through there, many of them are able to take their certification exam before they finish the service. And so they are already employable. Once they are certified, they are employable elsewhere, even if we cannot absorb all of them. And right now we have over 30 of them.
Of the NYSC?
Yes.
Within
the system. And we have a program they are following in terms of training. Each person follows his own track. You follow your track. We design the track in such a way that nobody is excluded. Even if you are a lawyer, you can follow a track, like office productivity too. And you can become certified, which means you are globally employing.
Okay, good. Do you encourage them with logistics?
You mean?
Logistics, stipends that will make them to go on.
Yes. Okay. For youth corpers and for IT students, we pay them something handsome that can ensure transportation to and fro from their locations to the office. And for NYC is rated higher than IT students.
Okay, so you don't pay those ones?
We pay NYC, we pay IT students.
Both of them you do pay?
Yeah, we pay.
Thank you so much, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, I want us to look at a general question within the Nigerian education system. If you are privileged to be appointed as the Minister for Education today, what will be your areas of priority to improve education in Nigeria? Give me 5 key areas that will be your priority. to improve our education?
Thank you very much. This is an hypothetical question. Of course, I'm not a politician. So, but if I am privileged to be the Minister of Education today, the first thing I will do is curriculum review. I tell you, the first thing we will do is curriculum review.
At the tertiary or at the
At
secondary?
all levels.
At all levels. Okay.
At all levels of our education.
Why?
Because our curriculum is not globally competitive right now. And that is why students come out either at secondary level or at the university or polytechnic levels, they are not employed. So we must begin to take a look at our curriculum. There are other countries that have done well in this area. We can take examples from them. And we have experts in curriculum review, experts in curriculum development that we should also engage. Bring them together at all levels and we begin to take a total review of our curriculum.
Level by level.
Level by level. Number two is infrastructure renewal.
Okay.
This is very important. We must review the infrastructure that is available in our schools. Particularly, I know the universities, ASU and GO are trying to, but particularly at the primary and secondary, at the basic education level and the secondary level.
What are the private and public?
Both are private and public. We must set new standards that before a private school is approved in any state, there should be a minimum standard of infrastructure
available in the school.
Before a state government will start a school in an area, there must be a minimum requirement for infrastructure. Not just the building, not just the furniture, including what we just spoke about.
The teaching and learning materials.
Like computers and all other learning materials, books, and all of these the minimum requirements must be set for infrastructure. Then number three is teacher training. Because if you review the curriculum and the infrastructure is there and the teachers are not trained either to use the curriculum or to use the infrastructure, you are going nowhere.
So the
because there is no way you will not require teachers. Mm-hmm. So their training and their welfare there should be a minimum salary. We have
a welfare package.
Minimum welfare package for teachers. If I am privileged to be the minister, it's going to be a policy which we will set, which will make all the states to buy into, because education is on the concurrent list. So it's not something a minister can legislate or just make pronouncements. So you must carry along all the various nationals. The government of all those states must also be involved in setting this standard for curriculum, for infrastructure, for teacher training and welfare. So once we agree across board, this is the minimum, we then set up, organize monitoring or supervising organization, which we already have. We have NUC, we have BT, we have all kinds
of various agencies.
Yeah, we have all the various agencies to monitor, different levels of education. So we will empower them to now ensure that the standards are also kept. And also, if I'm minister.
You're on the fifth point.
Yes. If I'm minister, I tell you, the number 5 thing I will do is introducing national values.
Okay. In what area?
To all levels of our education.
Okay.
national values in the sense that a country is expected to have the minimum behavior of its citizens. And this can only be done if you inculcate it at the school, from the school level. If we decide education is compulsory at this level, and then we begin to create our national values and introducing it to every citizen from that level.
What do you mean by national values?
Like, the government has tried, they set up a national orientation program or organization. There should be something that is called national values that, in terms of corruption, in terms of this, that, all the disciplinary
in check.
Yes, to keep everybody in check. And that, as a Nigerian citizen, you know that I cannot just do this. I cannot be involved in what we call 419 now. What are the implications? We begin to let them know at the levels of education, at various levels of education. This corruption, if you carry the money meant for road construction, you are killing people. If there is an accident on that road, people die.
Yeah, sure.
You are killing the economy because cars get damaged. People must repair, they report the parts, and what if you're giving money to equip an hospital and you keep it? You are killing people, you are killing the economy.
Directly, not even indirectly.
Yes. So if we begin to introduce training at every level of education to our people, I think it may start, if we do it for 10 years, we will see the difference. I'm not saying 100% everybody will behave. It's not so, even anywhere in the world, it's not so. It's never so. Even in the Garden of Eden, it was not so. People will still come out and eat what they are not supposed to eat.
That's interesting. Yes, now let's move forward. Let's move a little bit to the private sector. Do you believe the private sectors, the successful Nigerians in our society, should have a kind of input to improve the growth of education in Nigeria, to support education in Nigeria?
Yes, I believe so. And I think now there are more private universities than public universities. And I know that there are more private secondary schools than public secondary schools. Even though the enrollment is also the reverse. There are more people in public schools, in both university and secondary schools, more than, I have the statistics, so I know. I know there are more private schools at the university and secondary levels than public. I also know that there are more people, more students in the public school
rather than in the private school.
Yes.
Okay, so let's look at donors from the private sectors. Donors, people that can just get up, successful Nigeria that can contribute to the growth of education in Nigeria. They don't even have to need to own a school. Just bringing good money out of their pockets to support education. What is your take on this?
Yes,
do you even believe in that?
Yes, I do, because I'm involved.
Okay.
I've done it in a little way in the secondary school, community secondary school in my village. I donated a building for ICT.
Can you be precise? Where is your village? And what is the name of the secondary school?
High School.
At Ikoyikiti. You donated a block of classrooms.
Not classroom, a building for IT.
Okay.
Where I equipped it with computers and internet and
at your own private level?
Yeah, my own private level. With my own funds.
Okay.
I did it in 2008 to honor my late father. So I named the building after him.
Okay. So what do you have to
I
tell
know that many people are doing it, but it's not enough. I see universities complaining about infrastructure, about so many things, whereas in the US and other Western nations, a lot of endowments, go on there, where somebody will, donate a whole library, a whole laboratory, and they will endow a share for a professorial share. All of this comes with, giving back
To the society.
to the society. I think every one of us have one thing or the other to give back. Even as a retired teacher or as a retired principal, you can give back to your community. You can go back and be teaching the students maybe 2 hours a week. Out of your time, many people die of boredom after retirement because they are busy. The only thing they run after is pension. But government should try and not make them run after pension. I'm not saying they should be neglected, but they should.
Retirees
Should give back. Yeah,
they
should give back. Yeah, they should give back. Everybody should give back, not just the rich people. I'm encouraging all of us to begin to give back. Rather than we are only looking at some people because they have plenty of money. They should give back from the plenty of money. But those of us who can give knowledge, who can give in kind, we should go back and, I'm running a program in that same school, which I want to extend to all the public schools in the local government. I call it volunteer tutors.
Okay. How does it work?
I engage those who are examiners in in major subjects. So I engage them to, after the school hours, to begin to teach those in SS2 and SS3.
Preparing
I pay them. I pay the teachers.
You pay them?
Yes, I pay them. I pay those teachers to come and teach. So there are so many ways of giving back. So many ways.
So what do you have to tell your friends out there? The successful ones and the retirees.
And all of us.
All of us.
We must begin to give back. Because without education, nothing will work well for a nation. Education is the foundation for every form of development, be it health, food security, whatever name it. Education is what will enhance and make all of this possible for us. So we must give back.
Thank you, sir. We have a lot of our graduates out there, unemployed, seeking for a job. A message for them.
You must be trained. My friend, Professor Aderomu, present his inaugural paper is job everywhere, job nowhere. Which means there are jobs everywhere, but people are unemployed because they don't have the skills. Forget about your degree. Think about what is your passion, what can you do, what is your God-given talent. Areas that you know that if I put my hand on this, I will be successful. And go and train in that area. Get the skill, and there will be job for you. I tell you, my son, studied sociology, had a master's in media and marketing, and he came back and he said, from the UK, he came back. I said, let me get you a job. He said, no, I don't want to work for anybody. Okay, what then do you want to do? I want to be a chef. I was like, what are sociology and marketing? Media, cooking. He said, that's what I want to do.
Really?
And, I should have known that because when he was in the secondary school, he was the only boy in the nutrition and food and nutrition class. So I asked him, okay, you go and train because you cannot do it without training. So he went back to the culinary school in New York and got a diploma in culinary, and then came back, set up his kitchen in Nigeria.
Wow.
And he's doing well. He has 2 kitchens in Lagos now.
So he is an employee of
He's an
labor.
employer of labor now. And later he said to me, I want to do some level of farming. And when I go to the market, what I see there is amazing. You know. So he started his farm in Ekiti now. Like I said, where do you want to do farming in Lagos? So he started, he has a big farm in Ekiti now, where he has a 35 hectares of palm plantation, and he has
35 hectares.
7 hectares of tomato. You know. So so you can imagine her from sociology
It doesn't
to
matter.
selling rice, cooked rice, and then to farming.
He's making his money.
It's making his
And
money.
he's paying other people.
So my advice to our young people, our youth is don't see your certificate just for white collar job. It takes you nowhere.
Thank you, sir. Are we expecting some new products and services from Setback?
Yes.
Okay, what are they?
One, we just a few months ago we put into the market what we call e-study.
E-study. Okay.
E-study. E-study is a product that we research so much on. For some times now, we have been on it. How do we help students? How do we take them away from the mentality of I want to cheat in the exam? I want to commit fraud in this exam.
Is it for secondary education?
It's for secondary education. So we approach WIC, we'll be on it for some time to say, look, let's take your questions. What you are doing now is what is called assessment of learning. Now let's turn things around for your past questions and turn it to assessment for learning.
Okay.
There's a difference between the two.
Okay.
What we are doing now at the end of your work, you go and write the exam. We are trying to assess your learning.
Before the exams?
No, after the exam. No, that's what we are doing now. The exam is assessment of learning. Now we are turning those questions around to say, let's use it for assessment for learning.
Preparing you for examination.
Not really for examinations alone.
Okay.
For you to even understand the subject matter.
Okay.
Because when you understand it, you are ready for exam, you are also ready to damn all of those who are asking you to pay money to cheat.
You get familiar to the questions.
Yes, you get familiar to the question, you get familiar to the subject matter. There were lots of paper presented by experts in WIC and other assessment experts on this. And then WIC eventually agreed that we can go ahead.
Okay.
What did we do? We took the question and the answer from WIC.
The previous years?
Yes, the previous years. When the WIC says this question, the answer is A. We subject it to our own solution, which is driven by AI.
Okay.
What is the answer to this question? Our solution, which is driven by AI, comes back to say, yes, indeed, the answer is A. But this is how the answer is gotten. These are the steps.
Explanations.
Yeah, explanations of how that answer is arrived at.
Okay.
So a student is able to take it and learn from it.
The product is available now.
The product is available now. It's already in the market.
Okay.
But why we launch it officially in due course, but they have asked that the product should go live so that their students or people who are in schools, all our children in schools can take advantage of it. So the product is meant for those in SS1, SS2, and SS3 for them to learn.
Okay, a similar thing for JAMB. Do you have any?
We don't right now because we have to agree with JAMB.
Okay.
It's not something we can do without the examination body.
Okay.
Because they have to agree that we can use their question. It has to be driven by them. Otherwise, we'll be infringing on their. We want to measure the success with WAEC. That's what we normally do. We do one with the first body, and then we measure the success, and then take it to the other.
Are you considering the tertiary institution on this?
For
The university, polytechnics, or colleges of education?
Most of them are autonomous.
Yes.
Even the public schools, they are trying for autonomy. They want to be on their own and measure their own things, do their own thing. What we are considering for these schools is our e-marking. The one we are doing together now with we are saying that this is a solution that can be used not just by WAEC, NECO, ICANN, and all other bodies that are involved in the high-stake examination. It can also be used by institutions like universities and polytechnics to mark their scripts so that lecturers involved in harassment.
Thank you so much, sir. Like it or not, Sigmat is a brand of greater values, one brand of greater values. And at this beautiful moment, I would like to say thank you so much, sir.
Thank you.
Olajide, thank you for your time.
Thank you very much. It's nice having you here.
My pleasure, sir.